Good morning, Stitchers. It's pretty early here today. I'm using a different, something different to record on, so we'll see how this goes. If this is good or better, let me know. Or if it's not as good, same thing, let me know. Um, I figured I better get this in now while I could. Um, Sorry, my allergies are really bothering me today, and everybody that apparently gets on floss tube has itchy nose syndrome. Um, I just lost my train of thought. It's just going to be one of those days. I finished Stitch Maynia is over for me. Whoop, whoop. I had a good time. I had a better time at the beginning of the month. It was all wine and roses. And then when life got in the way at the end of the month, I struggled to keep up and to keep motivated, and was kind of tired of like making all these starts and not being able to make some more progress on them. But I would do it again, and I don't know yet what I'll do next year. But I think next year I won't do so many starts. I ended up with, have to get my notes, because I stuck a few extra things in there, and then I'd already pulled all this other stuff, so I ended up with 18 starts, and I was meant to only have 16. But that's okay. So I've showed you, I'm trying to think when of course, I didn't write down what day I made a video, but I put up the stuff that I'd already showed you, so whatever I show you today are things that you haven't seen. And sorry, it's super early here. The sun is just coming up, so got my coffee. I've really enjoyed everyone's that was doing the vlogging. Look like I just drove myself up. I really enjoyed all the vlogging. It was fun. I did a lot of YouTube floss tube watching while I was stitching, and didn't take the time to comment on everybody's, but I really enjoyed it. I'm still trying to catch up, and I hope y'all keep it up. It's fun to watch. So let's see. We're just gonna start opening stuff, because I think I have this in order, but honestly, not super sure. Okay, this is start number 8, and I started this on the 15th. This is the Willow Queen by Nora Corbin. I love this series, and I really love seeing everybody's Mirabilias, and I have quite a few in my stash, but I think I should have done something smaller first, because I'm enjoying working on this. This is on, I know that you won't be able to see the fabric, but I'll tell you what it is anyway. I just barely started some skin, which is super hard to see. 1/1, and not having any trouble with it so far. This is part of her arm, and she doesn't have a ton of skin. This is, let me see. This is on a Silk Weaver Wexford, and it is called Cherry Fizz. So I really did not, here's a piece that I definitely did not want to put down. I wish you could kind of get an idea of the fabric, but it's like muted pink and white. It's nothing too much, because she's mostly brown and greens, so I wanted something that wouldn't be wow in your face too much. So I really enjoyed her, having a good time doing it, and I didn't want to put her down. That was the 15th and the 16th. Some things I gave 2 days to, because I added some extra stuff into the month. Some things I couldn't, and I'll explain. The week of the 23rd was a busy week for me. So this is start number 19, and this one So disappointed. This is Hedgerow Bag by Blackberry Designs. I love the pattern. I love the idea of making the bag. I have some antique buttons put aside for this, but I do not. I've had this kitted for years, and it calls for 20 count straw from Weeks Dowers. Number one, I'm not a big fan of their fabric. It's like the limpest fabric ever. There's no structure at all. And 20 count, I guess it's 20 count so they can get the size of the bag. I'm just not sure yet how I'm feeling about this. It's huge. The holes are huge, and it takes up you have to use 3 strands, and it's taken up a lot of thread. I mean, I know that I did not order enough thread. Some of the thread, the variegation, is almost the same color as this fabric. I just think that this fabric does not look very much like the fabric in the picture, but I still want to make the bag, so I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I didn't have a good time working on it. The whole time I was working on it, I was like, I hate this fabric. I hate this fabric. I hate this fabric. And if I could get a better attitude, I'd probably finish it. So that's going away for a while. That I may not see the light of day till next Mania. So that was the 17th. I only worked on that one day because I didn't like it very much. The 18th, I worked on Paula Vaughn Jacob's Ladder. I'll show you a picture of it. Years and years ago, I did a Paula Vaughn pattern. I don't remember which one it was. But for whatever reason, this is the one I chose this time. I like the buggy, the blue and white quilt. So I did not get a lot of time. I had 2 days, but sometimes I only got just a few stitches in every day. And then part of this I was not paying attention, and I did with the wrong color, so I had to frog it. But I had to see which way it goes. It goes this way. That's the middle, starting in that blue quilt. A lot of fractionals, which I don't really mind too much. So this is an easy fabric to do fractionals on. It's just a white 28 count Swigart from Hobby Lobby. Not a bad fabric at all. So that was that. I gave that 2 days. And I don't know, when I'll get back to her, but I will get back to her. I'm trying to stay somewhat organized through all this, so sorry about that. Sorry about this. How's everybody doing today? I have this weird thing going on with my hair. I look like I just got up, which I did. I look like I didn't even attempt to brush my hair, which I didn't. I did brush my hair. Okay. The 20th and the 21st this was a project I added in because I did not have it kitted up, even though I've had it. This is Cross-Eyed Cricket, August. That is the month of my birthday. And I've been feeling like doing some summery stuff. So I started this, but I had to flip-flop around on my fabrics and finally wound up doing it on Winterbrook from Under the Sea Fabrics. This is a 32 count. I had a different fabric pulled, but I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough room. So I think I'll be able to fit 2 of these patterns on this fabric. So I'll do maybe 2 summer months on here. So I just got the A done. And this is a little seashell right here that I started on. I really did not want to put this away either. Enjoyed working on that a lot. And I want to fit that in somewhere, which I'll get to my rest of the year ideas in a little bit. So that was start number 11, and that was May 20th and 21st. Start number 12. I only worked on one day. This was Sunday, May 22nd. And I have done a very stupid thing. So, this is the Lizzie Kate 3 Little Words, and this is the block I worked on. And it says, be kind always. Enjoy every moment. Most of these projects I just used my hoops for instead of having to drag out the Q-snap for something that I was only going to get to work on a couple of hours. Well, this one I put in a Q-snap because it's so much fabric. And let me show you what I did. I might be able to fix it, but I probably will just rip it out. So it should be going, it should be up here on this piece of fabric going horizontally. I did it the wrong way on the fabric, the short way. Because I have downloaded, I wanted it all to be in a row, and I have downloaded the pattern for the border. I'm not sure if I can rearrange that to make it fit the other way. If I can, I will. I just didn't have time. I didn't even realize that I'd done this till I took it out of the Q-snap, and I was like, are you kidding me? Seriously. I got Be Kind Always. I had a good time working on it. It's on a lovely piece of fabric that is 32 count raw. I can't read their handwriting. Silver. I'm sorry. I'm challenged with this camera. It's hard to read the handwriting. This came from 123 Stitch. So, I don't know. I was pretty mad when I saw that. Aggravated with myself. And that'll be something to deal with later, not today. I only got one day to work on that and 0 days to figure out what I was going to do with it. My box is full. Okay. That was start number 12 on the 23rd. Start number 13 on the 20... I'm sorry, that was start number 12 on the 22nd. Start number 13 was on Monday the 23rd. Now this week I was trying to figure out, on the 25th my mom had total knee replacement, and I'm an only child, so that means I get to do, I'm the one that helps. Sorry to keep playing with my hair. That means I'm the only one that helps. So I was trying to figure out which of these projects would be best to take to the hospital, because I knew that I would be there with her a few nights, and that I have a battery operated light, but I knew that wasn't going to be super convenient, and then she would be trying to rest and stuff, so I needed something I can just sit by the window to do. So I started this project on the Monday, trying to see if, because it's on a 36 count linen. It was just a scrap piece of linen. This is my Outlander project, and let me see if I have a picture. It's a digital, it's a digital pattern, but there's the picture. It's from the Sampler Girl, and she has an Etsy store. So I started that, and sure enough, I thought this fabric is light enough. This is the a piece of, picture this plus 36 count starling that is left over from my By the Bay project from last year. And so I just did one of the flowers that day, or maybe both of these two flowers that day at home on Monday. But I ended up taking this one to the hospital with me, and it was hard to find time to stitch because I was getting up and down a lot. But I did get to work on this a little bit at the hospital. I did sing a song, and this is part of the ship. So I actually worked on that 2 days, on the 23rd and again on the 26th. On the 24th, I started 2 projects because I was trying to figure out which one was going to be good for me to take. Again, which project would be good to take to the hospital. I wanted to take 2 projects with me in case one of them didn't work out. So I started Spot by Carriage House Samplings. And this is on a piece of fabric from my stash. This is 36 count Cyprium from Picture This Plus. And I knew right away that this was not going to work for me. It's too dark of a fabric and I couldn't see what I was doing. So I just did a little bit on this on the 24th and I put it up. It's fine with my ot light. I just knew I wouldn't be able to see on it at the hospital. So I did not take that one with me, but I did start it. And then the other start that I made, which is start number 15 on the 24th, is Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. Little House Needleworks. This one I did take to the hospital. I started it just barely on the 24th, and I worked on it on the 25th, mostly at the hospital. This is not the called for fabric. I bought it when I went to Tennessee. Got to visit a local needlework shop. And this is Weeks Dye Works Dolphin. It's kind of a gray with a blue tint. It's coming off. That's pretty true to color. It is, again, the Weeks fabrics, just not my favorite. I don't mind floppy fabric, but there's just something about this fabric that doesn't make my stitches look that great. It doesn't matter if I railroad, they all look the same. But I got the end done, and that's almost half the border. And I am enjoying working on this. I'm just not a huge fan of the fabric. I like the color. So I worked on that a little bit on the 24th, and I got a lot more time in it on the 25th. Then on the 26th, like I just said, I worked on Outlander. On the 27th, that was last Friday, that was the day Mom got out of the hospital. So that was the one day out of the whole month of May that I didn't get any stitching done. Had a lot going on that day. So I didn't figure that was too bad. One day out of the whole month that I didn't stitch at all. Sorry. On the 28th, start number 16. I don't have a picture of it, but I've showed a picture before. This is Mary Beale's, one of her stockings. And you can get her patterns online now. There are PDFs. Just Google it. And she has some beautiful things. So I started in the middle of the stocking, and there's going to be a shepherd there, and you can see one of the sheep. I'm missing the color for the body of it and the tree. This is just a piece of random fabric from my stash, and I think it's I might have the card for it. I think it's 32 count baby's breath. This will come back out and be finished hopefully this year for before Christmas. When I pull out Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow, I think I'm going to pull all that stuff out in October this year and work on Christmas things. This and Hawk Run Hollow and ornaments. But what I wanted to show you about this, and I'll show, you won't be able to get the whole pattern. So these patterns are from the 80s. I believe that's when she designed these. And they're hand drawn. Here's a piece of it. It's just somebody uploaded them to PDF format and they're hand drawn. Well, one of the greens, let's see if I can, I'm getting close enough. It's just a slash, just diagonally across the block. Well, in the shepherd's jacket, or clothes, you can't see. It's again a slash. It looks just like a slash. Only guess what? It's not a slash. It's a 7. So I stitched all of this blue, all that I have marked off in blue right here, with the wrong colors. I can see I'm going to have to pay attention and look at the symbols because those are not the only two that look very similar. And when they're hand drawn in a little square, you can't tell the difference. I don't have a color picture to look at unless I get on my computer. So I had to frog all that and start his outer garment back over. But it's an easy stitch. Even though it is a hand-drawn pattern, it's not hard. I was hoping I'd get through this whole video without sneezing, but that may not happen. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Allergies. The struggle is real. So that was start number 16 on the 28th, and I worked on her for 2 days. On the 30th, which was Monday, today is, I'm sorry, I don't even think I mentioned what today is. Today is June 1st, Wednesday, June 1st. On the 30th, it was Memorial Day here in the States, so I started a piece that I was just not going to start, but I changed my mind, so I started Blackberry Bisque, Salute to Abigail. This was a club piece, but I believe it's been re-released. I've had it for a few years, and it is just 4 colors of silk. 2 different blues, a cream, and a red. And that's all I've got done. This is like permin. It's that super stiff fabric. I don't mind it, but it's hard to get it to behave in a hoop. You can see the hoop marks. That didn't last long. I had to put it in a Q-snap because the hoop wouldn't even close. So I think that one, that's going to be a project. I love the finished project, but it's going to be a little bit monotonous with just those 4 colors and lots of border and repeating patterns. So I think that that is possibly going to be a project that I have to work on just a little bit at a time. So, okay, my last project that I started was yesterday, and this was just 1 day on it, but I was determined to start it. This is Blackberry on Gingham, Bisque by the Sweetheart Tree. Again, been in my stash forever. I didn't get a lot of time to work on it yesterday. It's both top and bottom half are the same pattern. So I got the middle part of the pattern done, and these are a few specialty stitches, which are they're modified eyelets. So it was easy. I mean, that only took like an hour. If I really give it some time, I could finish that, I believe, in a weekend. But I didn't, they were starting to tell you to put beads on, so I just put it up because I didn't feel like getting my tacky bob out and doing all that right then. So that, sorry for all the, sorry, I'm a mess today. I'm a hot mess. Sorry for all the bending over and stuff, but if I don't pick it up now, one of the dogs will pick it up for me. We have company. I put them both up. I have my mom's dog here. He's a Cavalier. And I thought that I might let him make an appearance, but Gemma is not real happy with the fact that he's staying here. She just barely tolerates him, so I figured that today was not the day for that. And I'll have some needle minders, not a whole lot. I ordered a few patterns from ABC Stitch Therapy when they had their Mother's Day sale, and did any of y'all order stuff from them? Because I haven't gotten it yet. That was like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago almost. I guess it'll turn up. And oddly enough, I ordered a few things from Stitching Bits and Bobs, and it came in. One thing's on back order, but this is, I don't know if they're in order. This is the Little House Needleworks My House Hometown Holiday Series. I'm sorry, before I get started with all this, if you don't like haul, I'll say goodbye now. Happy stitching, and I hope if you participated in Stitch Mania that you had a good time. So these, I got what's available. This one is My House. This one is Main Street Station. Caroling Quarter. Sweet Shop. Toy Store. Town Church. Firehouse. The Tree Lot. The Pet Store. The Florist. And Schoolhouse. So there's one more left to be released. They've been kind of slow in releasing these. That's why I hadn't bought them until now. Trying to wait till all of them came out. And I'm honestly, this was in my pile to show. Generally, after I show things, I put it up. So hopefully you haven't already seen this. I forgot now who else was saying that they really enjoyed the Wexford. I think it was Emily, Eclectic Possessions. I have I have 4 or 5 pieces of Wexford from Silk Weaver in my stash that I have picked up off of eBay. And the first time I worked on it was with my with Willow Queen and Stitch Maynia, during Stitch Maynia, and I love it. So I ordered a couple more pieces. This one is a solo. It's blue. It's mostly blue with some purple. I don't really always enjoy things that are super busy, and I was trying to get these with doing Mirabilia's in mind for them. So, and it's really hard to tell online the color that you're getting exactly when you get it. This one has a name, and I bought this because it's more of a prim color. Why does it look so yellow on my screen all of a sudden? This one is Midas Touch, and it's kind of goldy brown. There you go, you can kind of see it. So I was excited to get those, and I'm definitely a pattern and fabric hoarder, but I try to keep my eyes open, and when I can get fabric, I need to use up what I have, though. I really do. And this is the only other piece of big haul I got, and honestly, I cannot remember if I showed it, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But those of you that might possibly have it, it's Scotland Mandala. I use the viewer, and I cannot decide what color fabric to use. This is the bead pack. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. If there's somebody that would love to see every thread, you know, I love to touch threads. I don't mind going through it. What I was really going to show, I had thought about using a sparkly fabric for this one, but I think that I will not, because when I opened it, and I hope I haven't already showed you this, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. There are 13 petite treasure braids. I'm going to try them this way. 13. Going to be pretty sparkly. So I think I won't do sparkly fabric. But I'm just really struggling with the viewer. Like, I can't find anything that just jumps out at me and says, that's the fabric. And I had thought that I really wanted to go with a piece of Picture This Plus fabric, because next month they'll be having their Christmas in July sale. And I could order it then. I'm not ready to start this. In fact, I'll get to it in a minute, but I'm going to... Hydrangea is going back in my rotation. My rotation, non-rotation. I feel like working on her, so she's going to get worked on in June. Sorry, again with the itchy nose. I made a few needle minders myself. This is a lady with the big poofy dress on. This is a folk Santa. He's kind of big. But sometimes I like the big ones because I use them to hold charts. He's holding a rooster. This one's a little girl holding a doll. This is a Regency lady with a black dress on, so I guess she's in mourning. And this is just a little scene of I'm not sure if that's just a house or a church. So those I made. Let's see if I can get them to not stick to each other. These are some that I bought because apparently some of these I've had for 2 months. I'm just now showing them. I don't always show all my needle minders, but for whatever reason I've been on a needle minder kick that I feel like I just have to have, which is, we all know, not true. There's a fairy. These are from Delicious Threads. A fairy and an ad for absinthe. I need a new... I keep my needle minders on a whiteboard, and I need a new one because my other one's full. This is another Delicious Threads order. This is a card with Marie Antoinette on it and a Halloween one. And the rest of them are all from Julie, which I know I'm going to be in trouble. She's having she's putting a lot of stuff up this weekend, so. This is a vintage bunny rabbit and a cow skull with flowers. this one off the card. Maybe it'll be easier. This is a Carriage, and it is purple, but it's light purple, but it's obviously not showing up. I don't know. I just said this is Julie, but I didn't say where she was from. Nifty Needle Nannies on Facebook. I'm pretty sure y'all have all heard. Here's a chicken. And here are my books. Oh. Here's a bunny rabbit. And then I have my my Outlander book is on my Outlander project, but I think everybody's kind of seen these. They open up. They open up. So I have Little House on the Prairie and Sense and Sensibility. And then the last one, sorry, they're all sticking together, is this Autumn Teardrop. It's kind of big. It's real pretty. I think Jessie has one too. At Jessie Marie does stuff. So that's it. And I won't have much haul. Maybe none till my birthday, unless that order from ABC Stitch Therapy comes in, and it was really only a couple of things, but I don't know. When I emailed them about it, they're having trouble from their sale getting everything together. So hopefully it'll show up soon. I hope everyone enjoyed their Stitch Mania. I had a good time. I really did. But towards the end of the month, with everything else going on in my life, I was just like, oh, another start. When is it going to end? I was ready to just put something on a Q-snap or on my frame and get with it. So, having said that, in June, I have missed working on Gypsy Mermaid. So I will spend some time working on her this month. I really want to finish the top half of her this year. I don't think that's asking too much. It's not that much left to be done on the top half, just the border and the east and west. I've started on west. So I'm going to, I don't have it back here with me, but last night I put G Legere back on the Q-snaps, and I'm going to plug away at that alphabet and try to get down to the bottom where I can do some of the more fun things. There's an Eiffel Tower on there and a big barn with a scene. So I'm looking forward to doing those. And I'm definitely going to work on my chatelaine that is ongoing right now, the Hydrangea Autumn Fog, because it's time for me to move that and move on to flower panels, and that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that part. So I don't know what else I'll do. Some of the things from Stitch Mania are really calling to me. Like, I'd like to spend some decent time in the next couple months working on them, and I probably will. I just feel like all this big stuff that I started, I have my little finishes every month for the Stitch Along for Snowflower Diaries, and I'm real pleased with that, but I'm not finishing anything else because they're all medium to big projects, and I'd like to work on something the rest of the year and get something big finished. So I don't want to switch around too much where I only spend 3 or 4 days a month on something I won't get anything else finished this year at that rate. So I guess that's it. I hope everybody's having a good summer so far. Kids here have been out of school for a little over a week. And, hopefully things... Ooh, my lights flashed. Hopefully things are going well in your part of the world, and I hope you're all having some awesome stitchy time to yourselves. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.